got River Lake Stars 12 UA versus Centennial Spring Lake Park Red. Stars in black moving from left to right. Face off drop. Wagner pushes it forward to Barton. Barton brings it in. Throws backhander in. And that'll put the Stars up 1-0. Barton on the goal. Wagner to Barton on the score sheet. Wagner wins the drawback over to Dolly. Dolly moves it forward to Barton. Barton brings it into the zone. Leaves it for Wagner. Wagner throws a shot just out of Akerson's reach for a tip. Puck thrown around by Centennial to the far side boards. Dolly dumps in to grab it. She moves it over to Barton in front. Barton behind the net with it. Putting up against the wall. Tries to center it. Right under Akerson's stick. Out to Dolly. Dolly will fire a shot. Tipped in front. Played out by the goalie. Off a Centennial skate and stays in the zone. Now Dolly throws it back towards Wagner. Wagner shovels it into the far corner. Picked up by Centennial and skated around their net through their zone. Chipped there by Balloon, but Centennial's able to throw it all the way down, and that'll go for icing. 14 minutes remaining in the first period. Stars on top, 1-0. Balloon will take the draw for the Stars. She's got Haglund and Garner next to her. Rosser and Davis behind her on D. Face-off pulled back by Centennial. Played around behind the net. Up the near side boards. Rosser catches down. She'll throw it towards the net. Tipped in front. Balloon puts a shot just wide of the net. Haglund skates it around. Her pass is intercepted. Now Centennial skated out into the neutral zone. Across center ice and into the Stars zone. Centering attempt goes through everybody. And a shot goes through the crease all the way to the near side boards. Another shot blocked there by Garner. Later on the backside wall. Davis gets to it, moves it forward to Haglund. She gets it out in the neutral zone. Picked up by Centennial at center ice. They're going to skate it in as the Stars go on a change. Dumped in behind the net. Prosser's going to skate onto it. She'll move it up the far side boards. Now it comes out to Prosser. Cross center ice, across the blue line into the zone. Hits the brakes in the far side corner, plays it out to the point. Shot in, deflected wide. Picked up by Barton in the corner. Centennial will take that off of her stick and move it out. And Barton fights back onto it. Turns that puck around, keeps it in the zone. Now Dolly will throw it in deep. We'll run around the near side boards. Up to the point, held in by Hepner. She'll move forward to Akerson, who backhands it down behind the net. Played off the far side wall and out to Dolly, who keeps it in. And pushed back into Dolly. Centennial trying to get it out, but is pushed back in deep by the Stars. Now into the far side corner. Moved around the near side wall where Hepner gets to it. She fires it back down behind the net. Picked up by Akerson. Akerson behind the net, passes out to the point to Dolly. Dolly fires a shot into the chest of that Centennial girl. Hepner skates back on and steals that puck in the neutral zone. Hepner has that chopped off of her stick and gets it up to Wagner. Wagner plays it forward, but it's intercepted, but Garner gets to it. And Centennial will take it back into their zone. Pass up to the near side wall, under her stick, picked up by Garner. Garner plays that puck across just out of Haglund's reach. And Centennial's able to play it back to the near side boards. Picked up by Prosser. She'll skate it in. Cuts it center and centers and bounces out to the point. And Davis has got it at the point. She'll fire a shot off the side of the net. Picked up behind the net by Wagner and played off a Centennial skate. Now Barton skates over to it and helps out. Pinned up against the wall and Barton will come away with it. Now she's pinned up and Centennial moves the puck. Puck comes out, picked up by a Centennial player. She'll chip it out into the neutral zone. Picked up at center ice by Prosser. Prosser across center ice into the zone. Pulls back. Cuts center. Backhand shot into the goalie and covered. Balloon, Akerson, and Barton out there for the Stars. Backed by Davis and Prosser. Prosser gets a puck. Fires a shot wide of the net. Puck comes to the far side wall. Pass is deflected by Barton, but then Centennial plays it out into the neutral zone. Puck along the near side boards. Hemmed up by Willa. Now it sneaks out, and Akerson gets it. Akerson across center ice into the zone. Pulls it to her backhand, throws a shot. Blocked by the goalie and into the far side corner. Picked up by Centennial, moved out of their zone. Oh, pass intercepted there by Hagelin. Should move it back down to the corner. Hagelin skates behind the net with it. Still fighting for it along the end wall, and then Centennial will come away with it. Passing it through their zone. Not quite out yet. Off the skate and bouncing around. Garner chops at it. Now it's picked up by Emery Prosser. She'll skate across center ice into the Centennial zone. Has that tipped off of her stick along the end wall. Pinned up there by Dolly, and then it comes past her, and Centennial gets it out of the zone, into the neutral zone. Now Centennial skates it across center ice. Wagner skates into her, takes that puck away. Long pass out through the neutral zone, picked up by Akerson. Cuts it back to the middle. Stick handles off a skate and loses it in the neutral zone. Now pass intercepted by Willa Prosser. Bounces over. Wagner fires it into a skate. Now it comes out to Willa again. Willa into the zone with it on her forehand. Hits the brakes and she's taken to the boards. Penalty coming against Centennial. Body checking the call. Stars will go on a power play with 8:46 remaining in the first period. Balloon will take the draw. She wins it back to Prosser. Prosser winds, fires, deflects off a skate, bouncing around in front of the crease. Backhand shot off the helmet of the goalie. Now it's played to the end wall. Picked up by Centennial. She'll hit the brakes, head back behind the net, and play it off the far wall. Davis jumps in, throws it back to the corner. Picked up by Centennial in the corner, but Balloon pressures her. Now she moves that puck out of there. Chips it off the wall and out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Willa. Willa skates it across the center line. Into the zone. Hits the brakes. Finds a pass to Davis. Davis fires a shot off a skate and into the far corner. Picked up there by Akerson. Akerson comes off the wall. He gets to Barton. Barton centers. Couldn't quite get a shot there. Now comes up to Davis at the point. Tipped off a skate. Off the side and then in. Akerson finds the way to put that in. And the Stars take a 2-0 lead with 7:52 remaining in the first period.
Behind him, White.
Centennial plays the puck forward through the neutral zone, into the Star zone. Hepner skates onto it and takes that puck away. Plays it off the boards, but picked off there by Centennial. Now thrown to the middle. Centennial finds it. Garner pressuring, but Centennial is able to throw it down further into the zone. They'll pass the puck behind the net up to the far side boards. Centering attempt. Intercepted there. Bouncing around, now picked up by Garner. Garner up the near side into the zone. Hits the brakes. Passes to Hepner. Hepner fires a shot. Glove saved by the goalie. And she'll hold on to it. Face off will come to the left side of the Centennial goaltender. Crosser will take the draw. She gets it back to Hepner. Hepner moves it across to Dolly. Dolly fires a shot, tipped wide of the net. Barton will chase onto it. Barton in the corner, fights for it, moves it across to Emery Prosser. She has trouble, but it's held in there by Dolly. Again, held in by Dolly. Now move forward. Barton's going to get to it. Barton tries to cut back into the goalie. Now the puck's sitting there beside the net. Akerson gets to it. Tries to get it to Wagner. Bounces through a bunch of people. Now out to the point to Dolly. Dolly tries to fire one in, but it's intercepted. Now it's held up along the far side boards, and Centennial will sneak out with it. They've got numbers. 2-on-1 coming. Pass across the middle. Wagner's fighting back to it. She forces a shot wide of the net. Picked up by Hepner. She plays it forward to herself. Hepner across center ice. Moves it over to Akerson on the near side. Akerson on her forehand shot. Deflects off the goalie's stick. Clearing attempt. Missed there by Centennial. It'll come back to their defense. She's going to skate it forward out of their zone into the neutral zone. She's going to fire one right into Wagner. Wagner will take that puck and skate it forward. Her pass off a skate and turned around. Centennial will bring it into the zone. Crosser pushes her wide. Leans her into the wall. Centennial steps off the wall with it. Centering attempt. Comes across. Through one. Through two. Shot. Deflects wide. Now pick up. Garner's got it. She's going to move it off the boards. Get it forward to Balloon. Balloon skating up the right side with the puck. Has it on her backhand. She's forced wide. Puck goes all the way to the end wall. Picked up by Garner. Garner moves it out to the point to Davis. Davis will fire a shot. That's deflected in front by a skate. Centennial will pass it out to center ice, but Willa's there to stop that one. Gets the brakes, moves it back forward, brings it into the zone. Now Centennial will fire it back into the corner. Barton steps into that one, turns that puck back into the corner. Behind the net with it, tries to center. Now it comes out to the point for Davis. Davis will fire a shot off a skate and wide. Puck on the end wall. Kick forward by Barton through everybody. Now Emery Prosser will skate onto it. Brings it in. Fires a shot wide of the net. It's going to ring around the far side board. Picked up by Davis. Davis has a little trouble with it. Now Centennial will get it out of the zone. She's going to skate forward with it. Throw it in. Peterson will kick it wide. Picked up by Prosser. She moves it forward to Akerson, who chips it into the zone and goes for a change. Puck put on net there by Haglund, and it'll be covered by the goalie. Wagner on the row. Wins it back. Dolly fires a shot wide of the net. Picked up on the near side boards by Hepner. She moves it forward into the corner. Picked up by Wagner. Wagner tries to fire it back out to the point. Puck's bouncing around in the slot. Now taken out by Centennial. They'll skate forward with it, but it's intercepted by Hepner. She moves it forward. Now Hepner with it again into the zone. Skating it forward all alone by herself. Pass intercepted, centered. And now it comes out to Hepner again. Backhand pass to Barton. She's tangled up there with a couple Centennial girls. And the puck moves back to the corner. Wagner skates onto it, gets it to Barton. Barton beside the net, plays it off the side of the goalie and out. Puck bouncing around. Dolly gets a stick on it. Keeps it in, gets it to Barton. Barton tries to get a shot, it's deflected. Skates it in, another shot. Bounces in front, now wide. Thrown off the glass and held in by Hepner. Hepner skates through two. Cuts around behind the net. Backhand pass out to Dolly at the point. She'll fire a shot wide of the net. Comes to the near side boards, picked up by Balloon. Played out by Centennial. That's going to go all the way down for icing. 2:48 remaining in the first period. Stars on top 2-0. Prosser on the draw with Garner and Hagelin. She wins it back to Prosser. Prosser across to Davis. Davis fires a shot off of some skates in front, bouncing around. Centennial tries to clear and gets a good pass to their own girl. Pass off the back of her leg and sits at center ice. Now they'll throw it into the zone. Picked up by Willa Prosser. She skates forward with it. Stick checked off of her hands. Now Garner's got it. Garner skates forward with it across center ice. Brings it into the zone. She'll backhand it. Now it's thrown by Centennial. That's going to go all the way down for icing. 2:06 remaining in the first. Prosser will take the draw with Akerson Martin. Face off one back to Prosser. She fires a shot wide of the net and goes to the far side corner. Centennial's the first to it. Move it up the wall. Emery Prosser steps in front of that one. She's pressured. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Skate it back in. Cuts it wide. Goes behind the net. Puck chopped off her stick, comes out to Davis. Davis will throw one towards the net. Fired. Goalie saves. Another rebound put back by Akerson. Deflects wide. Pass out to the point. Prosser with it. She'll fire a shot. Goes off a skate in front. Puck fired wide. Now Barton finds it. Now it goes to the far side boards. Picked up by Centennial. Bounces off of her. Goes back to Barton. Now she has it chopped off of her stick. Goes to Prosser. Now back to Barton to Akerson. She'll move it out to the point to Davis. Davis is passed to Prosser across the point. She pulls that puck back. Shot deflects off two skates and goes wide. Now picked up by Centennial. They're going to throw it all the way down for icing. Then 1:02 remaining in the first period. Face-off taken by Wagner, pulls it to the far side boards. Now it sits on the face-off dot, thrown wide by Hagelin. Now picked up by Garner. Garner backhands it to Wagner. Wagner's pass deflects, but comes right back to her. Now she gets it up to the point to Dolly. Dolly fires a shot, goes off a Hagelin's skate and sits in the face-off dot. Puck along the far side boards. Dolly steps in to hold that. Throws it towards the front, sitting in front of the crease. Now bounced wide. Hempner down low, keeping that puck in. Wagner steps back to cover defense. 25 seconds remaining in the period. Centennial chips it off the boards. Held in by Dolly. She'll throw it towards the net. Stopped there by the Centennial defender. She'll play it up the near side wall where Hempner will step into it. Centers off of Hagelin's stick and over to the far side wall. Played out to the point where Dolly will throw a shot off of the back of Hagelin. Comes back to Wagner. 2 seconds remaining. Shot and a foot save by the goalie to end the period. Stars on top 2-0 after one. Alright, we got Wagner on the draw with Barton Akerson. She pulls it back to Davis, moves it across, or her pass deflects off a shin pad. Comes over to Davis, who moves it forward to Barton. Barton brings it in the near side of the zone. Finds it again. Centers, off a foot into the goalie, and covered. Wagner will take the draw. She moves that puck over to Akerson, pulls it back to the point for Prosser. Prosser fires a shot, off the goalie's stick and wide. Wagner gets back onto it in the corner, gets it back out to Prosser at the point. Across to Davis. Back across to Prosser. Prosser throws a shot, tipped wide of the net by Akerson. Picked up by Centennial in the corner. Ball skated around the net. Off the boards, out to the point where Prosser holds it. Prosser fires a shot. Now Barton gets to it. Bouncing around behind the net. Barton gets a backhand shot off the post. No balloon on it. And Centennial will take it out in the corner. Centennial's pass across, goes through Davis. And all the way down. No icing called, because Davis got in front of that one. Picked up by Prosser. She hits the brakes. Shot put on. Peterson save. Go forward by Garner. Banks it off the wall, and it's going to roll on edge all the way down. For icing. 13:31 remaining in the second. Balloon on the draw. Wins it back to Dolly. Dolly pinned up in the corner with it. Balloon will help out and pull it out. Skates it behind the net. Skating forward with it. Moves it up to Garner. Garner across center ice. Into the far side of the zone. Gets it out to the point for Dolly. Dolly will fire a shot. Deflected in front. Picked up by Centennial. Pass intercepted. Thrown back towards the net by Dolly. Pass attempt. Intercepted by Prosser. Moves it out to the point for Dolly. Dolly off the boards, back to Prosser. Prosser pulls that one away. Picked up by Prosser. Behind the net. Pass across to Dolly. Dolly fires a shot into the feet in front. Picked up by Centennial. They'll skate forward with it. Pressured by Akerson. Puck held in by Dolly. She's knocked down. Puck out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Emery. Emery will skate that one in. Wines fires off the goalie's helmet. Rebound put wide by Akerson. Picked up by Centennial. Pass across, intercepted by Wagner. She'll fire a shot into the goalie's legs. And she's got it covered. Wagner wins the draw over to Garner, who throws it behind the net. Hagman will get chase. Plays that puck behind the net. Gets it to Wagner. Garner pulls it off the wall, moves it to Garner. Out to the point to Prosser. Prosser fires a shot, deflects wide of the net. Centered, bouncing around in front. Now Centennial will take it. Wagner gets back onto it. Now comes to Hagelin. She fires it back in, but Centennial intercepts. Wagner finds that one. It's bouncing around in the feet. She tries to get a shot off. Goes over to Hagelin. Hagelin. Pass intercepted. Moved out to the middle. Foot race for it. And we'll get icing called. .25 remaining in the second period. Stars on top 2-0. Face-off sits underneath the centers. Barton chips it out, but Centennial takes it away. She's putting pressure on, but Centennial's able to skate out of it. They dump it into the far side of the zone. Balloon's got it pinned up against the wall, but Centennial skates onto it. Puck pulled out. Akerson finds it. Akerson up the far side wall. Pass out to the point is intercepted, but Davis gets a stick on it to turn it back around. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Rosso's going to get back to it. She's got one on her. Skating it forward, gets it out of the zone. Now it's played forward by Balloon out to the center line. And chipped back in by Centennial. Picked up in the far side corner by Prosser. Pass off the wall. And we've got offsides that'll come back to center ice. Prosser, Garner, Hagelin. Hepner and Dolly out there for the Stars. Puck comes back to Dolly. Dolly moves it forward off the boards, gets it to Prosser. Prosser along the far side wall, has that chipped off her stick. Comes around the end wall. Centennial plays it forward. Hepner gets her feet in front of it. Keeps that along the wall. Puck comes out. Now chipped off a stick. Held in by Garner. She'll throw it in. Played forward by Centennial. Hepner's going to get hauled down trying to get to it. Puck move forward to Garner. Played back by Centennial. Puck sitting along the red line, bounces out. Back to Dolly. Dolly plays it off the boards up to Hagelin. Hagelin's going to fire that one in and go for a change. Wagner on the forecheck. Steals that one, centers it, and nobody's there. Picked up by Centennial. We'll throw it up the near side wall. Comes out to Barton. Barton skates it in. She takes a shot. Good save with that right leg from the goalie. Puck moved out. Akerson. Behind the net. Backhand centering attempt. Bounces off a shin pad. Puck played out. Center ice. Foot race for it. Dolly gets a stick on it. Now it's dumped into the end wall. Picked up by Hepner behind the net. She gets it out of the zone up to Akerson. Akerson chips it into the zone. Centennial's going to get back to it and skate it out. Centennial, good chance here. Shot high and wide of the net. Garner backhands it out of the zone, put right back in by Centennial, and we'll get a whistle for offsides. Balloon on the draw. Pulls that puck over through Hagelin to the near side boards. Hagelin plays it back to Davis. Davis, backhand pass out to the middle, gets it through the Balloon. Balloon into the zone. That's to Garner. Garner shot, glove saved by the goalie. She drops the rebound, comes back out. Centennial moves it forward. But Balloon will find it. Prosser shot off a shin pad, bounces over the Balloon. Out to the point for Prosser. Prosser fires a shot. And a goal! Prosser from the point, off of a stick and bounces past the goalie. And the Stars take a 3-0 lead with 7:40 remaining in the second period. Prosser wins the draw back to herself, then moves it to Willa. Her pass is intercepted. Brought into the zone by Centennial and played down to the corner. Picked up behind the net by Emery Prosser. She'll play it forward to Barton. Barton has trouble with it there. Centering attempt from Centennial. Pushes that puck to the far side corner. Willa Prosser gets onto it. Moves it to Emery. Emery banks it off the wall over to Davis. Davis rings it up to Barton. Barton chips it out of the zone. Centennial will throw that back in the far corner again. Picked up by Willa Prosser. Centennial takes away. Centering attempt off of Davis's foot and wide. Picked up by Barton with the near side board. She'll bang it off the boards and out to the neutral zone. Centennial's pass deflects, but looks through everybody. Now skated into the zone. Pressure put on by Emery. Centennial overskates it, plays it back behind the net. Picked up by Finley. Davis plays it forward to Barton. Barton back to Davis. Up, past Prosser. Picked up by Centennial. No dump it in. Picked up by Prosser behind the net. She hits the brakes, turns around. Skating the puck forward. Cross center ice. Makes a move, brings it into the zone on her forehand. Takes a shot off a shin pad and wide. Centennial winds up, fires that one. Haley, you gotta go get that. Peterson gets a stick on it, puts it wide. Puck comes to the near side corner, picked up by Garner. Garner gets it forward to Wagner. Can't quite get it out of the zone, but it comes right back to Garner, who does get it out into the neutral zone. Hagelin skates up to get onto it. She'll chip it in deep. Picked up in the corner by Hagelin. Now Wagner steps onto it. Fighting for it on the end wall. Wagner uses her body to just push that girl sideways. Now Hagelin steps out with the puck. He turns it back right to where it was pinned up before. Wagner tries to play it out to the point, and Dolly steps in. Back by Garner. Now Dolly keeps that one in. Pass out in the neutral zone. Centennial has trouble with the pass. Gives Stars time to get back onto it. Pass forward to Wagner. Wagner in the neutral zone. Throws it forward to Barton. All the way to the far corner. Picked up by Centennial. They'll play it up the far wall. Pass intercepted by Balloon, but goes right back to Centennial. Now they'll play it out from the neutral zone. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get called on that, as Maya pulled her down going for the puck. Claire moves it forward to Barton. Barton moves it forward to Akerson. Akerson into the near side of the zone. Cuts it middle, shot off the post, sits there next to the crease, gets another shot under the goalie, and she's got it covered. All right, Balloon on the draw. Puck sits there in the face-off dot. Barton skates onto him, moves it to the back wall. Akerson finds it. Hits the brakes, but Centennial's there, and they take that puck and skate it up. Centennial across center ice. Makes a move. Gets past Davis. Backhand shot. Off the post as Peterson's moving the wrong way. Puck bouncing around. Move forward, but right out to the point for Centennial. She'll try a shot. Now Akerson gets it. Akerson skates it across center ice. Into the zone. Makes a move. Fires a shot wide of the net. Now Davis will throw it towards the net. Played off by the goalie into the defenseman. Now picked up by Garner. Garner skates behind the net with it. With one hand on her stick. Davis tries a shot, but it just floats around. Now Davis backhands it out of Hagelin's reach. Played out to the point. Held in by Prosser. Prosser fires, but it bounced off a skate. Now to Emery into the corner. Emery centers. Tipped wide by Hagelin. Pass deflected by Garner and held in the zone. Now Emery Prosser skates forward with it. Shot on, turned away by the goalie. Davis moves it forward. And Prosser's going to get a tripping call there. And face-off will come back down to the Stars zone. 2:53 remaining. Stars on top 3-0. Minute and a half the penalty for tripping against Prosser.
Let's go, High.
Wagner will take the draw on this PK. Puck sits underneath her. She turns, spins, gets it back to the corner. Centennial skates onto it. Tries to center, but there's nobody there. Puck rung around the back wall. Pressured off of it by Prosser. Now Wagner will get to it. She'll ring it off the glass and the boards, and it bounces off a stanchion in the glass. Shot fired, blocked by Prosser. Now another shot. Peterson barely gets across to get a foot on that one, and it goes wide. Now Prosser moves it forward. Prosser into the zone with it. Hits the brakes, backhands it, gets it to Wagner in front. Wagner's shot turned away by the goalie. Wagner rings it off the glass again. Puck comes along the near side wall. Held in by Davis. Shot by Wagner, wide of the net. Comes all the way to the far side. Held in by Barton. Now moved out by Centennial. They've got numbers if they get to it. Into the zone. Hepner will get over to it. She can't handle. Comes out to a Centennial girl. Now Davis on it. Davis skates it all the way up into the zone. Pulls it back to her forehand. Out to the point. Akerson fires a shot. Goalie saves it. One second remaining on the penalty to Prosser. Moon pulls that draw over the near side boards. Dolly steps into it, but Centennial gets it past her. Play back into the zone all the way down. Picked up by Centennial behind the net. They play it forward, but Balloon intercepts. She chips it off the boards. Now Garner will get over to it. Centering attempt comes out to Hepner. Hepner shot blocked. Now Dolly pulls it, throws a shot. Goalie saves, rebound. Balloon can't put it in. Comes over to Hagelin. She gets it out to Garner. Garner turns. Her shot deflects up into the air and through everybody. Picked up by Hagelin and a glove save.
Yeah, Mace.
Prosser on the draw. She wins it back to Dolly. Dolly winds, fires, deflects wide off the body. Picked up by Hepner. Now played forward by Centennial in their feet. Puck along the far side wall. Held up there by a bunch of girls. Now Barton will skate out with it. She gets it over to Emery. Emery in the near side corner. Knocks the girl down and then falls down on top of her. Now the puck to the end wall. Martin gets a stick on it. Comes back to Prosser. She moves it forward to Hepner. Hepner centers on net and covered. .1 seconds remaining in the period. Wagner will take the draw, last draw of the period. Face off, kicked off her foot, and that'll do it for the second. Stars on top, 3-0 after 2.
They don't have hockey teams. They have soccer. He was a good
All right, start of the third period. We got Wagner, Garner, Haglin, Davis, and Cross out there for the Stars. And I keep forgetting to mention Peterson gets the start again at goal. Garner plays that forward into the zone, picked up by Centennial. Pressured, but it comes right to Garner. Garner will fire a shot, glove saved by the goalie, and she'll hold on to it. Face off, won by Wagner, pulled back, sits there, push forward into the far side corner, pulled back by Centennial. They'll pass it to the near side corner, and Garner puts pressure on. Puck skated behind the net by Centennial. Pressure put on by Haglin to take that one away. Centering attempt off a skate and bounces back to the corner. Now they'll play it along the end wall. Skated out by Centennial up the near side boards. Akerson steps in to keep that one in the zone. Now it's played out to center ice by the Centennial. Davis is going to have to hustle to get to it. Davis loses it there in front of the net. Played up the near side wall by Wagner. Akerson up the near side boards. Into the zone. Hits the brakes. Backhand centering attempt. Goes through Balloon but comes out to the point. Davis will throw a shot on. Save. Rebound. Balloon gets a shot off the goalie and she'll cover. Balloon on the draw, wins that one back, pushes it out to the neutral zone, past Dolly. Dolly gets to it, settles that puck down. Moves it forward up the wall, picked up by Balloon. Pass across to Akerson into the zone. Akerson makes a move, shot, save, rebound, bouncing around. Hepner will skate into it, tries to get a shot and whiffs on it. Puck played out by Centennial. That's not going to make it for icing, I don't think. Dolly's going to get back to it. Dolly's pass deflects. Held in by Centennial. Now Hepner will get onto it. Puck out to the point. Centennial fires a shot. Goes through everybody into the far corner. Up to the far side boards. Played by Dolly. She tries to get it out. Oh boy, Carter got goalie start. Now Barton in with it. Pulls it forehand. Rebound put in by Akers. Oh. That puck was in. She pulled it out with her glove, but they're saying no goal. Carter, congratulations on your start at goal. Haley would love to help you out when you come up here next time. Puck played to the far side corner by Centennial. We'll move it forward. Comes out into the neutral zone, picked up by Emery. She'll skate it all the way back into our zone. She's pressured. Moves it forward to Garner. Garner's bounced off that one, but the puck goes into the zone. Played forward. Davis gets a stick on it, but can't quite handle it. Now it comes back to Davis. She'll play it forward. Now comes the crosser. Forward to Garner. Garner's just going to fire one in off the defenseman. Wagner puts pressure on, slows that one down, so Haglin can get to it. She gets it back to Wagner. Shot saved by the goalie. Alright, we got Akerson, Wagner, Barton out there for the Stars. 11:49 remaining in the third. Puck comes out to the point. Davis skates it in, tries to get a shot, it goes off a skate and wide. Picked up by Barton. She backhands it forward to Wagner. To Akerson, shot, save, rebound, and it's loose, and she covers. Face off, pulled back by Wagner. Fired, shot by Davis, goes wide. Centennial moves it forward. Prosser will throw that one in offsides.
Somebody call 911. Shawty fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa.
Balloon on the draw. She wins it back to Hepner. Hepner fires that one into the zone. Centennial escaped that one back. Pressured by Balloon and stolen along the end wall. She tries to center. It goes through everybody. Dolly skates up onto it, but Balloon gets to it. Balloon gets it back to Dolly. Dolly's shot goes off a stick. Balloon is just absolutely trampled trying to get to that puck. Garner fires a shot off the goalie's chest, bouncing around in front of the crease. Now Hepner finds it. Puck along the near side boards. Hepner onto it. Gives it to Garner. Garner fires a shot, and she scores from the point. Garner from the point to put the Stars up 4-0. Moved into the Centennial zone, picked up by the defenseman and played forward, up the far wall. Emery Prosser will skate back onto it. Makes a move past one with speed past another. Into the zone. Circles behind the net. She's pressured. Gets the puck pinned up. Centers through everybody. Comes out. Hepner's going to skate back to get to it. Hepner playing very aggressively from that D position today. Akerson centers underneath Prosser's stick. Good stick lift there by the Centennial girl. Puck comes out into the neutral zone, thrown forward by Centennial. Everybody going for a change, no icing. Barton overskates that one, but Dolly will come back to help her out. Dolly gets it up to Akerson. Akerson up the near side, pulls it back to forehand. Tries to make a move, but it's tipped off of her stick by Centennial. Right up the near side boards. Prosser with it. Hits the brakes. Fires it forward off of Akerson's stick. Now thrown back in offside by Centennial. 9:23 remaining in the third. Stars on top. 4-0. Face off, one by Wagner. Now Garner skates to it. Her pass is intercepted and held in the zone by Centennial. Puck comes out, sneaks out to Hagelin. She plays it forward across center ice, skating with it. Has it tipped off into the corner. Centennial skated behind the net. Through their zone, off the boards, and out to the neutral zone, picked up by Prosser. Prosser skates forward with it. Puck bounces between the defender's legs. Hits the brakes, pulls it back, tries to fire a shot off a shin pad and into the corner. Puck sitting in the corner, Hagelin fighting for it, but Centennial's going to step away with it. Prosser weaves around one. Tries to weave around another, loses the puck there, but Balloon skates back and steals it. Now it's just floating around. Barton will have to go get it. Barton into the zone, moves the puck forward, stays in front of it, but now it comes down to the corner. She's going to skate back onto it. Loon picks it up on the end wall, brings it to the far side corner. She's pinned up against the wall, and Centennial will skate right with it. Held in there by Dolly. Dolly pushes it back to the corner. Centennial moves back to the corner. Off the glass and out. 1-on-0 situation here. Peterson with the save. Rebound, another save. And it comes out to Barton now. And Barton whiffs on a pass. But Akerson skates back to get to it. Akerson gets tackled, and that'll be a penalty. And the Stars go on a power play with 7:30 remaining in the third. A minute and a half for a hooking. Prosser on the draw for the Stars. She wins at the far side boards where Hagelin plays it forward. Back to Hagelin. Now she bounces over to Emery. Emery skates it. Cuts back. Heads behind the net again. Passes across to Garner. Comes out to the point. Shot by Davis. Bouncing around in the crease. And covered. Face off, won by Prosser, out to Prosser. Prosser will fire a shot, tipped by Emery on the way. Goalie gets a paddle on it. Garner pass across to Davis. Davis fires off a stick and wide. Hagelin battles onto it, gets it over to Prosser, rings it up the boards and out of the zone. Picked up by Akerson at center ice. Skated in by Akerson. Brings it down to the corner. Behind the net, and she's pressured. Gets pinned up against the wall. Centennial's going to play that forward to the point. Held in by Davis. She'll throw a shot. Tipped wide. Puck comes up to the near side wall and out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Willa Prosser. Willa moves it forward to Emery. Emery skates it in. Gets a shot high over the net. Off the glass. Barton will play that back into the corner. She moves it to Prosser. Prosser tries to backhand it in front of the net and hits the side of the net and bounces over the near side wall. Barton keeps that one in. Now it's moved out to the neutral zone, picked up by Prosser. Prosser fires a pass across to Davis. Davis plays that into a skate. Now it comes back into our zone, picked up by Prosser. To Prosser. Prosser's backhand pass gets out of the zone, but Centennial's there for it. Now dumped in. That'll ring along the end wall, and Centennial's back to full strength. We got the puck. She's skating up. And the puck comes out to the neutral zone where Wagner skates onto it. She falls down. I don't know, Garner gave her ice ghosts away. Now it comes back to Wagner. Hagelin gets a stick on it and knocks that girl's stick out of her hands. Centennial skating the puck out of the zone. She falls down. Dolly will play it forward up the wall. And Dolly looking for a pass, gets it across to Garner at center ice. Garner moves it forward to Hagelin into the zone. Picked up by Centennial. They'll skate it back. Play it off the end wall behind the net. Dolly dives way in there to get to that one. Keeps it in the corner. Centers it. Goes through Hagelin. Picked up by Hepner on the near side boards. Akerson with it along the red line. Now she'll throw it in deep. Picked up by Centennial. Played off the wall. Held in by Hepner. Hepner skates forward with it. Has trouble with it. Leaves it there for Balloon. Balloon behind the net with it. Hits the brakes. Puck sitting there in the crease, bouncing around loose. Now it comes out. Shot and a goal. And it looks like Hepner is getting credit for the goal. Parents were just warned by the ref. Puck pulled back into the Star zone, picked up by Crosser. She doesn't get it out of the zone. Centennial moves it forward, shot high and wide of the net. Picked up along the far side wall. Centennial will move it back to the end wall. 3.5 minutes remaining in the game. Crosser has trouble with it. Comes out to Centennial there. Now Garner gets onto it. Garner gets it out of the zone to the neutral zone. Now Emery skates onto it. Brings that puck with her off of her shin pad, but the Centennial turns it back to the neutral zone. Picked up by Davis and thrown into the zone. Puck out to the point. Davis will fire it back down to the corner. Rings around to the end wall. Puck back out to the point for Davis. Chips it off the wall. Gets it to Akerson. Makes a move off the wall. Fires a shot wide of the net. Picked up at the point by Prosser. She plays it forward, but intercepted by Centennial. They'll throw it all the way down for icing. Puck moved in the near side corner. Wagner skates onto it, kicks it forward to herself. Carries it all the way over to the far side corner. Puck pulled out of there by Wagner. Pulls to her forehand, tries to get a shot, goes wide of the net. Picked up by Barton along the end wall. Centennial's going to move out with it. Pass out into the neutral zone. Pressure put on by Dolly. Comes up the near side wall. Akerson's going to skate out with it. Cross center ice. Into the near side of the zone. On her forehand, shot high and wide of the net. That's an Elena special. Puck out of the zone just a little bit, and Balloon chips it back in for an offsides call. .148 remaining in the third period. Stars on top 5-0. Face off one back by Balloon. Played forward by Hepner into the zone. Picked up by Centennial. Played up the wall. Garner's backhand pass threw everybody over to Hagelin. Hagelin will throw it in deep. Picked off there by Centennial though. They try to play it out of the zone. It sits there right on the blue line and played back in by the Stars. Centennial will find it on the end wall. Skating around the near side. Hits the brakes and heads back the other way. She'll play it up, but Dolly will jump in to grab it. She throws one towards the net, off of the stick and wide. Now to the point, held in by Garner. She'll fire one wide of the net. Balloon skates onto that, pins it up against the wall. Balloon's pinned up against the wall, and Hagelin will step out with it. Tries to backhand center it. Akerson steps over to it. Tries to get a shot off. 50 seconds remaining in the period. Puck played out by Centennial. Into the neutral zone and forward. Dolly will go back and get it. 40 seconds remaining. Dolly's pass intercepted at the blue line. And called offside.
Here's the only one there.
I'll have to go back on the replay and see where the ghost was in there.
It was 1 on 4.
Hey, 1-on-4 works at this age sometimes. All right, puck pulled out by Akerson. She skates across center ice into the zone, makes a move around one, loses that into the feet of the next one. Then Emery skates onto it. Centennial will play it forward out to the neutral zone. Davis gets back to it. She's slowed down. Prosser steps in to help out. 15 seconds remaining. Puck comes to the near side. Prosser's racing for it. Picked up by Prosser. Moved up the far side, out to the point, out into the neutral zone. Held out just long enough to finish the game. And the Stars take this one 5-0. You are so welcome, Doreen. Yeah, shutout number 2 of the year for her. She's trying to get to 11 so she can beat last year's number. All right, we'll see everybody at the next one.